Hello and welcome inside Meridian Centre here in downtown St. Catharines, Ontario, home of the Canada Summer Games in 2021. But before that, it's home to game number 18 of the CEBL Summer Series between the 2 and 3 Hamilton Honey Badgers and the 1 and 3 Saskatchewan Rattlers. Thanks for joining us here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. I am Sean Woodley, joined on the broadcast table by former Canadian national teamer Javon Shepherd. Javon currently being harassed by Joel Anthony, assistant coach of the Hamilton Honey Badgers, talking in his ear. Joel, almost called you Joel. Javon, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm just excited to be here. Obviously, it's a big game tonight. So, these two teams are going to get out here and compete. One team's struggling. Saskatchewan has been struggling a bit, and Hamilton needs a win. So, should be a good match.
Absolutely. It was a big start for the Saskatchewan Rattlers, beating the Niagara Riverlions in their first game, but they have dropped 3 stints since, that is, and now play 2 games with the potential to play 3 games in 3 days if they can make it into the quarters, either by winning today and picking up wins tomorrow. There are a whole lot of tiebreaker machinations at play here, Javon. They hurt my brain, quite frankly. We're going to get into them throughout the night here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of stakes here at play. Coming up after the break, we have got the third member of our broadcast team, Amy Audibert, is going to stop by. She's also going to chat with head coach Chad Jacobson of the Saskatchewan Rattlers. We've also got to look at the standings, the very complex standings, as well as the keys to the game from Javon, and a whole bunch more here on CBCSports.ca and CBC Gem. Stick around.
It was a Saturday. Chris was a good dad. His water practices, not so much. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Culligan. Got a water pitcher for the fam. Pretty safe, huh?
Well, basic water pitchers are passable, whereas a Culligan reverse osmosis system can reduce lead, arsenic, pesticide runoff.
You realize these have filters?
Chris, pour it out.
It's not going fast enough. Just done with that.
When your water's right, so is your world. I wrote that!
It's time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive new era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. Rattlers fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit therattlers.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Honey Badgers fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit honeybadgers.ca and take advantage of this exclusive summer series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Welcome back to Meridian Centre, just over 5 minutes from Rattlers Honey Badgers here on CBC Gem. Let's send things down to the third member of our broadcast team, Amy Audibert. Amy.
Sean, you never want to put your fate into some other team's hands, and that is exactly how the Hamilton Honey Badgers are feeling coming into this one. Keep in mind, if they drop this game tonight and Niagara wins theirs later on this evening, that means Hamilton's eliminated from the Summer Series tonight because they've lost the head-to-heads to Saskatchewan, Ottawa, and Niagara. So, Sean, Javon, when we talk about that QEW rivalry, of course, between the Honey Badgers and the River Lions, there's certainly a little extra layer to that one tonight, guys.
Thanks, Amy. The layer is also present on the broadcast team, as I am from Hamilton. Amy, of course, living in St. Catharines. Why I oughta. Javon, let's take a look here at the standings. As we talked about off the top, very complex. As Amy detailed there as well, there is a lot at play here for both of these teams. Hamilton, they're in tough. If they lose this game, their fate is in the hands of the Niagara River Lions, as Amy laid out there. So of course, you see there Niagara at 1-4 in that last place spot. But with a win today, they can move themselves up. They can finish no higher than 6, but they can be pretty comfortably in that 6th spot with a win today in their final game. Saskatchewan plays Ottawa tomorrow. Ottawa has a whole wide range of outcomes right now. They could win 2 games today, have a tiebreaker depending on how tomorrow's Fraser Valley Guelph game goes, and Ottawa could in theory be the 2 seed. They could also find themselves in 7th place by the time games are over tomorrow. This is incredible stuff, very compelling. You should absolutely be keeping it locked here for both of these games as well as our games tomorrow, because there's a whole lot to still be sorted out here when it comes to the standings in the CEBL. Javon, let's take a look here at your keys to the game, starting with the Hamilton Honey Badgers.
You know what? Win the transition battle. Hamilton's a team that they thrive when they're able to get out into the open court and get guys easy baskets and, just play athletic. Also, get in the paint. They have, when they're able to get paint touches and create opportunities for other guys, they're really good. They're really successful. And everybody's happy playing together. As well, no second chance opportunities. You want to limit the opportunities that Saskatchewan is going to have.
Let's take a look at the Saskatchewan keys to the game, Javon.
Score the basketball. They've been able to hold teams below 90, but they haven't been able to, put up points on the scoreboard themselves. That's going to be the key for them tonight. Play with confidence. This is a championship team. They need to have that championship swagger. They haven't showed that yet, but I think tonight if they show that, they'll be able to snap out, as well as their bench contribution. They only have 105 points from the bench over the last 4 games. They need everybody to contribute.
We're going to send things down to Amy Audibert with head coach of the Saskatchewan Rattlers, Chad Jacobson.
Coach, the weight of these last 2 games is tremendous for your team. So how do you get your guys to play hard but not desperate?
Yeah, we understand the situation that we're in and the magnitude of this game, but our focus is just on the things we can control. Our effort, our energy, and our communication. And I think if we do those things, the results will take care of themselves.
All those intangible things are leadership qualities. So who are the player voices you're really leaning into tonight and tomorrow night?
Sure. Well, Chris Joseph is obviously a veteran guy for us, and he's stepped up and shown a lot of leadership, and as well as Denzel Taylor and Kemi Osei. Those guys have really stepped up and provided leadership for this team.
Coach, have a great game. Thanks for your time. Guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Amy. Thanks to Coach Jacobson for taking the time. Let's take a look here at the starting lineups for the Hamilton Honey Badgers and the Saskatchewan Rattlers. For the Hamilton Honey Badgers, you've got Jalen Bab Harrison, number 1, the guard, 6'4", out of Ajax. You've also got number 3, Alex Johnson, the guard, out of Toronto. You've got John Victor Mukama, JV, as he's known, the former Ryerson star. He's on the wing. He's 6'8". He is a scoring threat for this Hamilton team. Khalif Young, the young big, getting a start here next to Owen Clausen, the veteran of the Canadian national team, wearing number 16. For Saskatchewan, you've got Kevin Bracey Davis, Denzel Taylor, the returning member of last year's championship team, Negus Webster Chan, that is, Kemi Osei, who's been very good so far for Saskatchewan, and Chris Joseph, one of the guys playing in the CEBL this year with some NBA games under his belt, played a couple games a couple years ago with the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. The head coaches, of course, are Ryan Schmidt, Raptors 905 assistant for the Hamilton Honey Badgers, and Chad Jacobson, as we just spoke to, for the Rattlers. Javon, final thoughts on this game. This is going to be an absolute blast. Hamilton, they don't want to be leaving their fate in the hands of their rivals, the River Lions, right?
No, not at all. And you know what? There's a lot at stake for all these teams, a lot of these teams. And I think the most important thing is it's not going to come down to stats tonight. It's not going to, come down to what's happened previously. But it's about who wants it more. Who's going to get the 50-50 balls? Who's going to get the loose balls? The defensive rebounds. Who's going to control the tempo of the game, and who's going to make winning plays. That's what it's really going to boil down tonight.
Absolutely. The game officials for today's game are Kevin Moore, Vern Bavell, and Jason Steele. Can't wait to get this one underway here in the CEBL Summer Series. A reminder that the official game ball of the CEBL is Spalding. Get your new CEBL official replica ball today by visiting CEBL.ca. Lots of other merch you can pick up there. Hats, jerseys, all that kind of thing over at CEBL.ca. You can also find scores, schedules, playoff schedules when those are released later this week as well. The quarterfinals going down on Thursday with the semis on Saturday and the final on Sunday, all here from Meridian Center. The final games, the semis and the final, will be available on CBC television. The quarters, of course, here on CBC Gem as the teams take the floor here. The Honey Badgers and the Rattlers. The Honey Badgers wearing their yellows with black pinstripes, where the Rattlers will come out in their green and wheat trim jerseys. This is a big one here for both sides. Thanks for being with us here tonight for Hamilton and Saskatchewan in the CEBL Summer Series, the second to last day of round-robin action. It'll be Khalif Young taking the tip-off here for the Rattlers at center court. Still waiting to see who's going to line up there. Bit of a smaller lineup, and you'll see this all throughout Saskatchewan's lineup. 6, 7, and under is kind of the name of the game here for the Rattlers. Denzel Taylor will take the jump wearing number 11 here for the Rattlers.
Should be a good one. Saskatchewan has dealt with a lot of injuries over the last week. It'd be interesting to see how many of their guys they have back in full for these last couple of games.
The tip is one back to Klassen, and here's Alex Johnson. He'll walk it up on loan from the Niagara River Lions. Is Johnson doing some good work here, filling in, of course, for the injured Dwayne Notice, who went down last week. Best wishes to Dwayne as he recovers from that Achilles injury. There is Jalen Bab Harrison knocking in the first bucket of the game here for Hamilton.
It's good to see him start out aggressive. He's had put together a good stretch of games over the last couple.
Negus Webster Chan up on the wing, and that's tipped there by Mukama, picked up by Bab Harrison. They got numbers. Mukama in, the soft little lefty finish.
And, we said it in the beginning. This is when Hamilton's at their best, when they're able to get out and run and just get easy baskets. You don't want this team playing in the half court.
In the corner, there's Osei with his first touch of the ball. Up top to Bracy Davis. That is deflected. Hung on to there. Bracy Davis back to Joseph. 4 on the shot clock. Bracy Davis for 3. That's no good. Rebounded there by Alex Johnson. Lead pass out to Bab Harrison. He's going to wait for his mates to join him. Up top, here's Khalif Young for 3. That is good. Khalif Young knocking it down as the trailer.
That's good basketball. Bab Harrison had a transition basket. Didn't see it. Had a bigger defender in front of him. Slowed it down, kicked out. And that's the benefit of having a 4-man or a perimeter that can shoot the basketball. Great job kicking it out.
Chris Joseph misses the 3 rebound grab there by Khalif Young. Johnson with it. Finds Mukama. Down low to Young. He's got Bracy Davis, got a couple inches on him. Kicks up. Mukama for 3. That's good. It's a 10-0 start here for the Saskatchewan Rattlers, and a quick timeout called by Chad Jacobson as the Rattlers want to reset here. We're going to send to a quick break, come back on the other side with the rest of the first quarter here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Follow the Saskatchewan Rattlers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the defending champion Rattlers have to offer. Follow the Hamilton Honey Badgers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Honey Badgers have to offer. Back inside, Meridian Center, 10-0. The Hamilton Honey Badgers lead right now. Javon Shepard, what are you seeing from this very rough start for the Rattlers and a great start for Hamilton?
You know what? For Hamilton, one of our keys to the game for Hamilton was paint touches. And we've seen over the last 2 3-pointers, it's not going to show up in the stat sheet as points in the paint, but we did get a paint touch, or they did get a paint touch rather, kick out for open three. And that's what they wanted.
Here's McCama for three. That's no good. Rebounded there by Bracy Davis. Still looking for the first basket of the game are the Rattlers. Bracy Davis drives, kicks to the corner. Webster Chan for three. That is no good. Rebounded by Khalif Young.
It's a good shot. Good space and fill. Good pass out by Bracy Davis.
Here's Mukama. He'll drive left-handed. Little step back jumper. That's no good. That is going to be Hamilton ball. The CEBL has been trending across Canada throughout the summer series. Join the conversation by using the hashtag #OurGame. Here is Johnson with it. Over to Young up top. 4 on the clock. Bab Harrison pulls up for three. That's blocked. Shot clock violation. Rattlers ball. Big stop there for Saskatchewan.
You know, I'm okay with Saskatchewan shooting some threes. They lead the league at 37% from the three-point line, but they don't take enough, and they don't take enough open shots. I think, you know, if they're aggressive, getting the ball in the paint, some penetration and kicks, just like that from Chris penetrating to the middle, get those open shots. Eventually they'll start to drop, but, you know, it's a good shot for them.
Three-point shooting, a high variance game, but like as you said, the Rattlers have been the best at it so far here in the CEBL Summer Series. Here's Mukama. Little crossover of Taylor. He tries to go up. That's swatted away there by Joseph. And now here's Kemi Osei. Osei to Joseph. Over to Webster Chan. For three. And he gets it to go. The first basket on the board for the Rattlers is a three off the fingers of Negus Webster Chan.
He can really shoot it. When he gets hot, he can really put the basketball in the hole.
Here's Mukama. Takes a screen from Klassen. He'll drive. Kicks it to the corner. Young with it. He'll drive baseline. Tries to do a little bounce pass to Klassen. No good, but Alex Johnson rattles in the three. Just how they drew it up.
You know what? Young got bailed out there. You know, it's better if he would have just played off the catch. He held the ball, kind of slowed the play down. Luckily, Age is a really good shooter. Got a lucky bounce. Knocked it down.
Here's Bracy Davis. He'll drive. Those long arms swooping in. Can't get it to go. Clausen with the rebound. Here's Bab Harrison with it on the wing. He'll drive around Joseph. Kicks out. Johnson to the corner. Mukama for three. That is cash for JV Mukama.
Hamilton just looks a bit more aggressive tonight.
13-point lead early on here. You've got Joseph up top. Osei thinks about it, stumbles, gets it to Joseph. Back underneath, here is Bracy Davis. He's fouled going up. Hamilton wants a jump ball called, but they're not going to get it. Bracy Davis laboring a little bit there. Got hit in the head, it seems. A couple guys checking into the game here. Briante Weber and Derek Cook Jr. getting their first action. The two imports here for Hamilton.
You know what, Bracy Davis is a player that I'd like to see a little bit more from. He has a lot of tools, and like you're seeing, he's very lengthy. He looks like he has about a 7-foot wingspan, but you know, he's a player. He can shoot, he can put it on the floor, he can get to the basket. The disappointing thing is I've seen him. He has 4 assists over the course of the series so far, and to 14 turnovers. So not the best ratio, and he's a guy that demands a lot of attention. So if he can pick that up, mix it up, get his guys involved as well as his natural scoring ability, it'll really help this club.
He is the leading scorer on the team with 15 points a game, but as you mentioned, just 1 assist a game. Not what you want to see from your wing-in-chief. That bounce pass sails away. It's going to be back in the hands here of the Rattlers. Kai Williams freshly into the game. And so is Rashawn Brown, the first-year pro out of the University of Manitoba. One of the best players in U Sports this past season. Here's Brown with it. Williams for three. And he's off to a good start in his game. Kai Williams knocking it down.
And that's what you want. You don't want to just be swinging the basketball around the perimeter. Rashawn did a good job playing off the catch, 1 dribble, kick to Kai for the open shot.
Clausen goes up. He is blocked there, but it's going to be a foul called against Shane Osayende, I believe. And Clausen will go to the line. Owen Clausen, 6'10", out of Kingston, graduated Acadia, played in Antwerp in Belgium this past season. You're familiar with Owen Clausen?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Owen Clausen, and I'm familiar with Antwerp as well. I actually played in Belgium myself. So I know Owen, he's used to playing at a very high level, and he's been actually pretty productive for Hamilton over the course of this series.
Did you develop a waffle addiction when you were in Belgium?
I actually did. I have to say. I couldn't really understand going there what could be so special about a waffle per se, but I found out quickly.
Yeah, there's no Eggos over there.
No,
I
not
shouldn't
at
say
all.
that. They're not sponsoring the tournament. Here is Rashawn Brown walking it up. Williams up top for 3. That's no good.
And you know what? Rashawn does a really good job of getting into the core of the defense. Would just like to see him with a better assist-to-turnover ratio. He averages about 3.75 assists, but 4 turnovers. So if he can get those numbers inverted, it'll bode a little better for him.
Those are young player stats.
Young player. But you know what? U-Sport rookie, I can't say enough about him. He's been one of the guys I was actually impressed with even before I seen him play his first game. I had a chance to see him in training camp, and he was really impressive, really aggressive. To me, I thought he was the leader of this team.
There's Cody John, recently checked in, and he dishes an assist there to Clausen underneath. And an easy bucket for Owen Clausen. 23-7, Hamilton wins here. They clearly have the urgency, knowing that if they win here today, they are in to the knockout round of the CEBL Summer Series. Again, if they lose and Niagara wins later on this evening, Hamilton will be eliminated. Here's Mukama. That is blocked away, picked up there by Brown. Here's Robinson Opong. Drives. He goes up. He is fouled. As Opong goes to the line here, a reminder, you can pick up the latest gear from your favorite team exclusively from New Era, the official merchandise partner of the CEBL and its 7 teams across Canada. Visit cebl.ca and click on Shop. Opong, as we heard from our intrepid sideline reporter, Amy Audibert, a member of the Ugandan national team. I should also apologize to Amy off the top of our broadcast. We were talking about the blood feud between St. Catharines and Hamilton, and I egregiously stated that Amy was from St. Catharines. She's from Niagara Falls. Apparently there's a difference. So I apologize to St. Catharinites, to Niagara Fallsians, and to Amy Audibert personally, as Derek Cook Jr. goes up, swirls that one around the bucket.
And that's a really good, tough basket from him. We haven't seen as much as we'd like to from Derek Cook Jr. And he's a guy that, you're used to seeing him in pick and roll situations, so it's good to see him get out and get aggressive and get a back to the basket play on down low.
Opong finds Osiande in traffic. He puts it in for 2 off the glass. 25-11 here. Cody John connecting there. Cody John's been a revelation so far here for the Honey Badgers. Kind of coming out of nowhere, a fresh graduate of Weber State in his first pro job.
And you know what? He's aggressive, and that's what's working well for him, is that he's just staying aggressive, staying the course, even ups and downs, and sticking to it.
Here's Mukama, drives into a few bodies. He's fouled, going up. He's going to go to the line.
You have to imagine some of these young guys are really excited to just, have their first pro experience. I remember how it was for myself. A little nervous, but just the ability to get out there and say that I'm a pro and be amongst guys that have been playing for 10, 15 years, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 years, it's an amazing experience.
JV Mukama to the line here. Mukama, of course, a star for Roy Rana's Ryerson Rams. That's a tongue twister. He knocks in the first.
I imagine Roy Rana has enjoyed watching the whole CEBL Summer Series because there's a huge Ryerson connection on many of these teams. So, I know he's somewhere in Sacramento. If he's not doing a scouting report for Sacramento for their next opponent, he's definitely watching the guys out here.
That's the beauty of this league, is it now gives, it's not just an opportunity for guys like Briante Weber, who's about to score, as he jams it down. Briante Weber That was a surprising finish to that very sort of nonchalant fast break, but I'll take it as someone who likes a dunk. And Negus Webster-Chan is fouled.
And you know, that's what he does, steals. This is a guy that is second in the NCAA in steals history. Actually was 12 steals away from breaking the record, so that just goes to tell you the type of defender he is.
An absolute monster for VCU in his time. Got some cup of coffee in the NBA with the Miami Heat, the Memphis Grizzlies as well. And a star of G League seasons past. Here is Opong. That is blocked by Jermel Kennedy coming in from behind. Opong had no idea what hit him. Here's Weber with it. He's got Osei on him. Takes the screen from Derek Cook Jr. into the corner. Kennedy will drive baseline up top. Locke Lamb recently checked into the game. He's got Jelaine Price on him. Pulls up for three. No good for Locke Lamb there at a Lakehead University, a recent grad. As I was going to say there, Javon, before Briante Weber so rudely interrupted me with his wonderful dunk, it's the CEBL offers this beautiful opportunity where it's not just imports with G League experience and NCAA experience who are able to come in. There's Negus Webster-Chan missing a three. It's guys from Canada. It's U Sports players who otherwise wouldn't really have an easy place to go play pro unless they're going over to Europe. But here's just an easy way to get your first pro job, get recognized in a league that is one of the only leagues playing basketball right now. I'm sure you, growing up, would have loved a league like this.
Absolutely. I don't know what I would have. If I had this, I would have died for this opportunity. And you know what? This is Amy.
All right, we're going to send on down to Amy Audibert, actually. Here's Amy.
Yeah, well, you guys are talking about traveling the world, and maybe one of the best to do it in the gym right now is right there, Jermel Kennedy. He's played pro in 10 different countries. He's actually got a YouTube vlog called 3 Steps because it's all about traveling. Get it? So clever. 3 Steps is a travel. But he says it's combining his passions of video editing and visual film arts. And I asked him what inspired him, and he said, because I live in Milan at times, what am I going to do? Go sit in my room? Other people do that, but he documents it for the world. So congratulations to him.
Awesome story on Jermel Kennedy. He's got you beat for countries played in, right, Javon?
But you know what? Just to touch on what you had mentioned before about this league, it's special. You know, the commissioner, the president here, Mike Morelli, had mentioned that this is Canada's league made by Canadians for Canadians, and you know, this just gives guys a platform and a space not only to compete against each other, but just to develop their games, you know, in their off season or in their off season, you know, from the winter months.
It's brought in here, Denzel Taylor with it. Here's Kemi Osei. Little entry pass to Taylor. He looks around, finds Opong. Opong drives, kicks it out. Osei with it. He drives as well. 2 on the clock. Webster-Chan for 3 at the buzzer. No good. Rebound fought for there. And it comes to Jelaine Price, but they're going to call a kick ball here. And it is going to be Saskatchewan ball still. They'll reset the clock to 14. 30-11. Hamilton leads early on here. Saskatchewan needs to start getting some stops and stringing some scores together. Osei for 3. That's cash for Kemi Osei.
You know what? Osei knocked that one down, but I find Saskatchewan has been settling on the perimeter tonight. They need to really apply some pressure to Hamilton, attack the basket, get some guys in some foul trouble, get something easy at the basket before just settling for the 3.
Osei's been filling up the stat sheet so far here for the Saskatchewan Rattlers. And we'll talk more about Kemi Osei on the other side as we come to the end of the first quarter with it 30-14. There's a foul there. We'll get that sorted out as well. We're going to hit the break here on CBC Gym and CBCSports.ca.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Erhard Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
To 14, the Hamilton Honey Badgers lead over the Saskatchewan Rattlers in Hamilton's final game of the round robin here at the CEBL Summer Series. Saskatchewan plays both today and tomorrow. Hamilton loses here, and their fate falls into the hands of the Niagara River Lions in the following game here in our doubleheader tonight. Saskatchewan, chance to move up, secure themselves a spot if they can win this game. Here's Kemi Osei for 3. That is no good for Osei, who so far in this summer series is averaging 13 a game along with 5.5 rebounds and 3 assists. Bit of a stat stuffer is Osei. An offensive foul called there. That's on Briante Weber. And Saskatchewan a chance here to cut into this substantial deficit early on.
You know, Saskatchewan has a chance right now to really attack. Hamilton's showing zone. Get into the pockets of the zone and find shooters, or get into the pockets of the zone and force the issue right now. They've already shot 13 threes in the first quarter alone, hitting 3 of those. You know, so it's really not, it's not working for them right now, to say the least. So, you know, it's get into the paint. They need to get into the paint and really get something easy at the basket, get some fouls.
And they see they're just passing around the top of that zone there, and Bracy Davis can't hit the 3.
And that's exactly what Hamilton wants you to do. They have Jamel Kennedy out at the front of the 1-2-2 zone, using his length really to deter guys from getting into the gaps. Saskatchewan's falling into exactly what Hamilton wants right now.
Here's Bracy Davis. Here's Osei. He can't find any room. Swung back around. Denzel Taylor now. Here's Osei. Taylor will set a screen. Osei can't find any space. Joseph down in the corner. Bracy Davis going up for it. He is fouled. Bailed out in the last second of the shot clock after another difficult offensive possession, but Bracy Davis will go to the line to get a couple points out of it.
I'll take it, Sean. It just shows some, you know, they're being aggressive on that attack. End up at the free throw line, slow down, get 2 easy shots. See the basketball going into the hoop. Slowly you can start to get your rhythm.
And you can tell that Coach Ryan Schmidt of the Honey Badgers is a Toronto Raptors and Raptors 905 disciple with all of this zone they're rolling out there. We know how much Nick Nurse loves his zone.
You know, I spoke to Coach Ryan before coming into this series when they were in preseason, and he mentioned, you know what, we're gonna switch defenses, we're gonna try different things, because what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. These guys are all pros. They've played man-to-man over the last 10 years of their life. It's easy to go back to it, play man-to-man in, you know, a hard hedge or a fat on the screen. So, you know, test out different defenses, especially going to playoffs. You're gonna need something new.
Absolutely. A reminder that Coventry is the official transportation partner of the CEBL Summer Series, getting these guys back and forth between all of the safe zones that have been set up under the COVID-19 protocols. Here is J.V. Mukama for 3. That's no good. And it is off of a Rattler. It's going to be Hamilton ball with 14 on the shot clock.
See, and you can't have that. Those are the win-win plays, the 50-50 basketballs. You have 2 defenders surrounding Owen Klassen down in the paint. Klassen gets a hand on it and somehow comes out with the basketball. You can't have that if you plan to win in any game, much less a game when your back's against the wall.
Absolutely. Makama gets that knocked away. It's going to stay with Hamilton. Now 9 on the shot clock. They'll inbound it deep in the backcourt. Here is Alex Johnson. Sees a couple bodies. Gets to the corner. That's picked off by Joseph. A great steal. And back the other way comes Bracy Davis. Over to Joseph for three. That's no good. Rebound there by Johnson. Johnson and Bab Harrison get their signals crossed there. And it's going to go back the other way. A quick turnover. Rattlers ball. Osei with it. Negus Webster Chan. Back up top. Osei for three. That is good. Kemi Osei knocking down the triple, and now all of a sudden just an 11-point deficit.
Get some movement, get guys moving to the basket, taking dribbles to the basket, get something open, get more of a flow.
An 8-0 run here for the Rattlers. Swung around to the corner. Johnson for three. That's no good. Rebounded by Webster Chan. Chance to extend the run. Osei sizing up Kennedy. A little pullback, step back three. No good.
That's tough. That's coming off an 8-0 run. That's not necessarily the shot that you want. At that point, we can set up something, get into your half-court sets, and run something through. See what opportunity you get, see what open shots you get.
Clausen for three. That's well short. Picked up there by Webster Chan. Hamilton still hasn't scored a basket in over 3 minutes here in the second quarter. Bracy Davis with it. He pulls it out. Up top to Joseph. Into the second half of the shot clock now. 10 on the board. There is Bracy Davis into the lane. Gets that to go over Klassen, and a timeout called here by Ryan Schmidt. He's not pleased with what his team's doing here in the quarter. We're going to come back with the remainder of the second quarter here on CBC Gem and cbcsports.ca.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Spend 2 nights in Ottawa and get $100 spending money on us. Dinner and drinks? It's on us. Or outdoor fun? It's on us. So relax. It's on us. Spend 2 nights and get $100.
A mark of legacy, a mark of our game. Spalding is the official basketball partner of the CEBL. Get your replica CEBL game ball now at cebl.ca and take our game to your courts.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
The Saskatchewan Rattlers have started off the second quarter here against the Hamilton Honey Badgers the exact same way the Honey Badgers started the first quarter with a 10-0 run, now trail just 30-21 as they pick up Alex Johnson at half court. Here is Bab Harrison.
And you know what's worked for Saskatchewan is they forced Hamilton into 7 turnovers, and they've capitalized on that with 11 points on the offensive side.
As part of the CEBL's commitment to social justice work, you're going to hear throughout the CEBL Summer Series players, coaches, and staff speaking out against racism. You'll also notice the "racism is not our game" quote on the baseline of each team, as well as on the back of all the warm-up shirts worn by every team in the Summer Series, as Rashawn Brown knocks down a 3 right there. And those quotes are a reminder of all the work we need to be doing for equality, both in Canada and abroad. Here is Alex Johnson to Klassen. Swung over there to Bab Harrison on the wing. That's no good. And the rebound comes to Makama up top. He goes for 3. That is good. JV Makama stops the run at 13.
Second chance points. That will kill you. There was 4 defenders and one Khalif Young that came out with the basketball. Again, we've seen that twice tonight. You can't have that if you have any chance at winning a basketball game.
Brown with it. Drops it into Kai Williams, right back out to Brown. Brown can't get his second straight three to go, but the rebound is grabbed by Asiende. Khalif Young grabbing his hand under the basket. Brown over to Bracy Davis for three. That's no good. Rebound there by Klassen. Here is Mukama. Drives into the paint, tries to dump it off to Young, but he wasn't ready for the pass. And it's Saskatchewan ball once again. Bracy Davis with it. He's going to try to move it into the post. Bab Harrison on him. Knocks him over. Offensive foul called on Bracy Davis as Bab Harrison takes the hit.
Bab Harrison did a really good job of selling that charge right there. He timed it, took the second hit in his chest. Is it a flop? I'd say it's a flop, but
let's put it this way. If you were on the offensive player in that position, you don't think it's a foul. If you're the defensive player, you absolutely think it's a foul. Here is Alex Johnson. Gets it into the post there for Klassen. They've been using him from the elbow here quite a bit. Backs down, tries to find Bab Harrison in the corner, but that's intercepted by Opong. Fast break opportunity here, but Hamilton gets back really quickly. Here's Brown. Mukama on him, he drives. Slides it there to Kai Williams, that's no good. Rebound grab there by Asiende. Finds Williams cutting down the lane, and that is softly dropped in the bucket by Kai Williams.
We've seen a couple offensive rebounds tonight that have led to baskets. I'm sure that's something that these coaches are going to talk about going into the halftime.
Kai Williams, the local boy on the Saskatchewan Rattlers team from Regina, graduated South Dakota State in 2010, a 10-year pro, most recently played for the Newcastle Eagles in jolly old England. And we're going to send this on down to Amy Audibert. Amy, what's up? We'll get Amy's mic fixed. She's just figuring that out. We'll send it down to our next opportunity.
We actually played together. It was a FIBA University game. Sorry, if I'm getting old, but FIBA University games. About 10, 12 years ago, we played together. You know, he can still shoot it the same way. So I laughed with him in preseason when he first came in. I said, "Can you still shoot it like that?" He said, "That's the last thing to go."
Robinson Opong is fouled on the three there. It's good, and he's going to go to the line to complete the 4-point play. As they'll reorganize the rebounding lineup. Opong. That is good, Robinson Opong. Bab Harrison over to Johnson. Johnson see a lot of length there from Opong in his grill.
Yeah.
Bab Harrison with Brown on him. Up to Khalif Young, mid-range jumper. That's no good. Rebound grab there by Negus Webster-Chan. Chance here to tie with a three for Saskatchewan all of a sudden.
How fast the tables turn.
Here's Webster-Chan. That is dumped off there to Shane Asiende. He dunks it down. And you're incredulous as to what just happened defensively there for Hamilton.
I'm not sure where the breakdown was there, but again, getting into the heart of the defense, it creates so many opportunities for guys. Negus Webster-Chan did a really good job. You know, 2 dribbles, dropped it off to his big man. Again, easy basket. Basketball is simple. We often complicate it.
Here's Khalif Young, big pass to Klassen, but he drops it. And it's going to be in the hands of Kai Williams. And it is now going to be Rattlers ball with a chance to take the lead here as the Rattlers bench gets fired up. By the way, I want to welcome those who are watching today's game on Twitch. Thousands of fans from around the world are using this exciting platform to be a part of the CEBL action throughout the summer series. Thanks for being with us and enjoy the action. We're going to send things down to Amy Audibert, who finally has her mic sorted out.
Yeah,
Amy.
you guys you're seeing quite a bit of fire as of late from Kai Williams, and someone who's going to be really proud of him right now is his brother Jamal. The two own a skills academy called Jack Basketball out west, and they both play pro overseas, and so when they're home for the summers, they really pride themselves on smaller groups training anywhere from 7 years to the university levels. Of course, during COVID, just like every other business, they've had to adapt. They've done some stuff online over Zoom. I asked Kai maybe the most important part of skill work, and I loved his answer because I agree. He said footwork. You build the house from the ground up. And guys, if you watch him on his shooting, his feet are always set. He comes off screens, and he's certainly a fundamentally sound guy from the hips down. Guys?
Thanks so much, Amy. Great stuff on Kai Williams. How was your footwork, Javon?
Oh, I can't remember.
It's dropped back there to Alex Johnson. Here's Kennedy with it. He'll drive, left hand. That is a beautiful finish for Jamel Kennedy. Try to stop the bleeding here a little bit.
And you know what? Tonight, when both these teams are attacking the basket, they've seen success. I imagine they're going to figure it out at some point and just apply pressure to each team.
Rattlers winning this quarter 19-5 so far with just 2.5 minutes left to play. Webster Chan for three in the corner. That's no good. Rebound there by Khalif Young. Heck of a game breaking out here between the Rattlers and the Honey Badgers. There's Bab Harrison. That three's no good. Brown has the rebound in his hands, and he's going to push it. Here's Asiende. Webster Chan pulls up from mid-range. No good, but the rebound comes to Williams. Up top, Opong for three. That's no good. Rebound grabbed there by Khalif Young. Johnson with it now. Cody John freshly into the game. Can't hit the three. Under 2 minutes now to go here in the quarter. Opong with it.
These teams have to remember to be fundamentally sound, especially when guys get tired. That's really the key, to fundamentally sound and, you know, just executing in the half court.
There's Kai Williams. That footwork working for him there. The mid-range two is good, and we're all tied up at 35s. It's almost like Amy knows what she's talking about and perfectly times us to cover
timing.
the game. Here is Cody John from the baseline. No good. Chance to take the lead here again for Saskatchewan. They have never led so far. And a foul is called here. That's going to be on Alex Johnson as Kai Williams is going to go to the line here as the Rattlers are now in the bonus. We got a timeout called by Hamilton, that is. Following today's tilt, you're going to want to stick around for a special edition of CEBL Life presented by Ward 1 Studios, a behind-the-scenes feature on reigning league MVP Xavier Moon of the Edmonton Stingers, potential two-time MVP the way he's played for the Stingers, who are 5-1 now and have clinched their spot on semifinals Saturday and a bye straight through the quarters. Of course, that CEBL Life episode featuring Xavier Moon is going to come up right after the buzzer of our second game here on the broadcast.
How about Xavier Moon? This is a guy, he's been incredible. 20-5, really getting guys involved. And he's done it so unselfishly. So, you know, I've been really impressed with him. You know, the unfortunate thing for the team that's going to have to play them first in the semifinals is the fact that they'll be fresh. And I don't know how much faster he's going to get with some fresh legs.
4 days of rest here for the Edmonton Stingers, Javon, which is, you know, an interesting thing. If you are one of these teams, you know, the Rattlers are kind of in the opposite of this, right? They could, in theory, if they make it to the quarters, play today, tomorrow, and Thursday. How do you manage that if you're a coach, and how do you approach these games if you're Chad Jacobson, trying to keep in mind that you have to win them to get into the thing, but also wanting to keep guys fresh as possible for that knockout round game?
You know what? Right now, you have a week to go. Nothing else matters. You really have to buckle down. And again, guys should have been taking care of their bodies up until this point, and you would have had to factor that in, knowing that it's a 15-day series, and you have to take all that into account. So now it's really just managing minutes and really just changing guys in and out. Luckily for them, they have a team that's very interchangeable, so guys can play many positions. So, you know, that's going to work well for them over the course of this next week, playing those potentially 3 games back-to-back-to-back.
Williams misses the first of 2 free throws there. 1 minute left on the clock here in the first half at Meridian Center. That is good. Stick around, of course, after this game. We're going to have the Ottawa Blackjacks and the Niagara River Lions in a huge game to round out our doubleheader. Here is Alex Johnson with it. Now under a minute to go in the quarter, and Saskatchewan has their first lead of the game. Jermel Kennedy trying to get it back. He can't. It's missed, but Johnson for three. That's no good either. Opong. He'll wait. They'll reset. Potential 2-for-1 opportunity as Rashawn Brown pull up three, no good. Long rebound comes to Jalen Babb Harrison. 5 seconds different game and shot clock here. Johnson has it up top. He's got Brown on him. 10 left on the shot clock here. Khalif Young comes to set the screen. Finds Young on the roll. Back to Johnson. Johnson fakes, drives, kicks. Cody John for three. That's no good. 5 on the clock here. Brown pushing. Rashawn Brown pulls up for three, and that is no good to bring us to halftime. An excellent game is broken out here. 36-35. The Saskatchewan Rattlers lead after the first half of action here. Javon, that was an incredible second quarter for the Saskatchewan Rattlers, completely turning this game on its head after being down 16 after one.
Right, and you know what? They some of the things we spoke about earlier, they turned it around. The offensive rebounds, the loose basketballs, they got on those and start to get out and run, get guys easy stuff. They were a bit more aggressive on the offensive and attacking the basket. Got a couple fouls that led them to the free throw line, and then start to get some open shots. So things start to roll for them.
We're going to send things down to the baseline as Amy Audibert is joined by the leading scorer for the Rattlers in the first half, Kai Williams.
Sorry, thank you.
Kai, down as many as 19 in that first half, but here we are up one at half. What clicked for you guys?
I think we just played with a sense of urgency coming into the second quarter. Obviously, we didn't get off to the greatest start. Credit to them, they were ready to play. But we just came in with a sense of urgency, got back on fast break points.
You look great out there. You've got 9 points already. What's your biggest advantage in this matchup?
I think with them playing zone and us having a few shooters, we're just trying to space the floor. So I'm just trying to play into my strengths, catch and shoot. If I can't have anything, I'm moving it.
We talked about the pride in your footwork. It's nice to see it out there.
Absolutely.
Good luck in the second half. And we'll be right back for some more halftime action on CEBL Network.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh, look who's reaching out. Old friends wanna feature now. They don't work, so they need it free. Ooh, you reaching out from the west side of that old town, but there's no shows till I go down to the open mic. Show love to the real ones that know now. Some of y'all don't know now. In a couple months, you gon' find out. Been blowing up from the underground, and they stepping on and land mine now. And he knows it's my time now. Coming up, I'm on a climb now. Everybody claim they been bottom, but it's looking like they took a time out. Okay, I'm working on a Wednesday, then up again the next day. So-and-so is popping, man, I skip him like he leg day. Kick it like I'm Pele, I never care what they say. Put myself on Spotify, so every day my payday. That realness, don't feel this, but I've been sick. That illness, I've been fresh like Will Smith. Since 94, man, I built this. Stressed out, X'd out, missed calls from my ex now. But I'm staying focused in the lab, baby, I don't need your calls or your text now. God say the boy blessed now. Who am I to say Rondo? And the way that I sell ticks, they been calling me Rondo. 23 in my prime though, finna ball like Lonzo. Go and tell everybody talking stage better be in that convo,
Welcome back inside Meridian Center. The Saskatchewan Rattlers now lead the Hamilton Honey Badgers by 1, 36-35 at the half. after trailing by as many as 19 in the first quarter. The second half is coming up, but before that, we have got yesterday in the CEBL, a recap of yesterday's game, as well. Amy Audibert and her sit-down with Mike Moriali will play another segment of that great interview. You should definitely be sticking around for that. We've got the visiting head coach interview with Ryan Schmidt of the Hamilton Honey Badgers, try to break down what went wrong for the team there in that second quarter. We also will check back in on the keys to the game with Javon Shepard, and we have the halftime stats presented by Bet Chris. All that coming up, and then the second half between the Rattlers and the Honey Badgers on the way here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Spend 2 nights in Ottawa and get $100 spending money on us. Dinner and drinks? It's on us. Or culture and sightseeing? It's on us. So relax. It's on us. Spend 2 nights and get $100.
Welcome to Payworks. We're payroll, HR, and time and absence management experts. So whether your business has thousands of employees or just one, let us show you how we're different. We're Payworks, and we're doing business to business, person to person.
It's time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive New Era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. Rattlers fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit therattlers.ca and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Honey Badgers fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit honeybadgers.ca and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
It's up, and it is one back to Kimball McKenzie. He'll walk it up here for Guelph for the opening possession of the game. He's got Diawara, he drives left, tries to put it off glass, no good. But the follow there by Olu Famatimi in the putback dunk.
I'll have you know that's the oldest guy in the league, Baker, of course, and easy layup for 2.
All of a sudden, it's a double-digit lead, 11 points, 37-26 here for Edmonton. Green underneath to McKenzie, and that is stuffed by Jordan Baker.
Gambling man, I would bet that this next sub is for Baker.
Here's Overwater going up, off glass, it's good, and one Overwater to the line to complete the three-point play.
They could have done a better job of being in this game a lot earlier.
Edmonton's a three-pointer away from the win. Travis Daniels gets it to go. That is game for Travis Daniels. They call it a 3, and the Edmonton Stingers are going home with the victory, 5-1.
Let's build on what we did yesterday. Let's have a good one. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, we about to turn up one time on these boys. They're not ready. Hey, Connor, get out here. Make it count. Don't take no energy home. Listen, man. Tonight is the night.
Hey, family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Family.
Together. 1, 2, 3. Stay 4, 5, 6.
We got an opportunity to play basketball. Let's take advantage of it.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Erhard Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
Ending. Now we've seen closer games, we've seen a couple not so close games. What are your thoughts on the way we're finishing off the series every night?
Yeah, well, the good thing is that, yeah, you're right. There's been maybe only a handful of games that are relatively close, but each one of those games, once we get to Elam, has created more drama, right? There's been comebacks. Edmonton had a comeback a couple nights ago. They were down big, and then they rolled back to get within 10. And it wasn't a win, but it does prove that, okay, no time on the clock. Let's go down, shoot some threes, get some open shots. For those that have been leading, I felt a little scared for those guys sometimes. It's not as easy as you think to close out a game. So it's been fantastic. And as we get closer and, the teams feel each other out a little bit more, we're going to get more close games going into Elam, which is going to make even more exciting.
We're talking about national coverage. It was pretty cool to look on Twitter and see the CEBL trending across the country.
It is cool, especially for a guy like me who has no idea what that even means. So I had asked my young staff, hey, what is it trending? Is that a good thing? But that just goes to show that organic growth I talked about. And in time, we are going to be in places we want to be. Right now, we have a tremendous partner in CBC. They have taken it upon themselves. They are the Olympic network. They understand where we fit into their values and their road to the Olympics, and specifically in basketball, both men's and women's. So, anything we can do to help broadcast what we do and what we're about and the talent that's here and trend and grow is an incredible part of the journey. And, in years from now, we'll be able to look back and say that was the first time, but not the last.
Can't kill them. Here's Mullings, though, and Mullings ends the game. A valiant effort from Hamilton, but in the end, Niagara, they win this one in Elam.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center's second half action on the way between the Saskatchewan Rattlers and the Hamilton Honey Badgers. The Honey Badgers led after one quarter 30-14 and now trail all of a sudden after the second by a score of 36-35. Just to refresh the stakes here when it comes to the CEBL Summer Series. If Hamilton loses this game, Javon, Hamilton will now have their fate in the hands of the Niagara River Lions. If Niagara wins today after a Hamilton loss, Hamilton is 7th place. They are done, which would be a tough way to go at the hands of the River Lions. They're down the QEW rivals.
Yeah, you definitely can't put your fate in another team's hands. You want to be able to be in the driver's seat and in control of that. So, that has to be in some of these players' minds as well as the coaches to really, get out there and perform. Like, this is your back's against the wall. This is what you came here for. And this is the pressure you want. This is where you see, pressure creates diamonds, right? So this is what you came here to do.
Speaking of coaches, Amy Audibert is down baseline with Ryan Schmidt, head coach of the Honey Badgers. Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Coach, Saskatchewan had 21 points off of turnovers in that first half. So how do you guys do a better job protecting the ball?
I think they gave us that little press towards in that second quarter, and I think we kind of we started rushing things. And obviously there were some turnovers. It wasn't just also the turnovers, but the missed threes. We scored 2 baskets in that whole second quarter. So we were playing in transition defense the entire time. So I think just taking care of the ball, better shots, I think will kind of at least slow down that problem.
This entire series, you guys have done a great job mixing up your defense, but you got to win this ball game here. So what works the best for you in the second half?
To be honest, I like the 1-3-1. I think we kind of had a little confusion when at times with the second group that came in. So we try to clean that up at halftime, and we'll probably throw a couple more things at them and see what works.
Coach, good luck in the second half. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks to Ryan Schmidt for taking the time to check in with us after the half, as his team has a big 20 minutes of action ahead here. In that 20 minutes, they will have some keys to the game to hit on, Javon. Javon, how did the Hamilton Honey Badgers hold up to the keys of the game that you laid out for them before the game?
They wanted to win the transition game, and I was a little disappointed because they started the game with 6 transition baskets, and they ended the half with 6 transition baskets, so they didn't really do much, over the course of the half. Get into the paint. They had 10 points in the paint. I think, being the bigger team, they need to really use that and use that as their advantage. Dump it down into guys like Owen, Khalif Young. No second chance opportunities. Saskatchewan had 5 offensive boards, but again, that led to kickouts, got them confidence, got their juices flowing. So that's something that they definitely need to narrow in on and nail down on in the second half here.
And how are we looking as far as the keys of the game for Saskatchewan through one half?
The key for them was to score the basketball. And, in the second quarter, they did a good job with that with 22 points as opposed to the 14 that they started with. Play with confidence. We've seen a whole different team that second quarter. They got out running, got some easy baskets, got some stops. And when they're confident, they're actually a pretty decent team. Bench contribution. They usually get about 26 points from their bench. They have 22 tonight. So they're getting, contribution from everybody. They just need to continue to do that over the course of the rest of this game.
Big bench contributor for Saskatchewan early on. Kai Williams leading the way with 9 points. Let's take a look at the halftime stats. The glass battle being won right now by Hamilton pretty substantially. We've got 11 assists to 10 assists here for Saskatchewan over the Badgers. Pretty even in blocks. Steals. Hamilton getting the ball poked away quite a bit, but they are shooting much better than Saskatchewan is right now. It is interesting stuff. Saskatchewan getting bailed out quite a bit at the line as well. Should note that 8 of 11 from the free throw line for 8 of their 36 points. As we take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of action, now just 20 seconds or so away from half number 2 here. A reminder, Saskatchewan is at 1-3. If they win here today, they set themselves up nicely going into tomorrow. Lots pending on what happens with the later game as well today. There's a chance we could see Saskatchewan in a 3-way tie with Niagara and Ottawa at 2-4. If that happens, they would advance because they have the tiebreaker over both Ottawa and Niagara, having beaten them both, in theory, if they beat Ottawa tomorrow. Again, it's all very confusing. The machinations of this all are truly wild, but we will sort it all out with you here over the course of the rest of today. All we know for sure is Hamilton really wants to win this one. If they win, they are in. If they lose, there is a chance that they could be ousted from the tournament if Niagara wins later on this evening in the second half. And a bit of a rocky start to the half here for Hamilton as it's nearly poked away, but recovered there by Alex Johnson.
He gets it over. Round robin play.
There is Mukama. No good. Rebound grab there on the offensive glass by Clausen. He throws it away, though. Over and back, it's going to be Saskatchewan ball.
Offensive rebounds are going to be, the team that loses tonight is going to have to attribute this to offensive rebounding.
So far, the Rattlers have 5 offensive boards, now 7 offensive boards in the game here for the Hamilton Honey Badgers. Of course, these two teams met in last year's championship game. Lots of roster turnovers. You don't really think about it as a rematch of the championship game, but a few guys still around, including, of course, Negus Webster-Chan, as the shot clock winds down, and it's a shot clock violation. Nothing doing there on that possession for Saskatchewan.
And I think sometimes these teams are, even myself, we forget that Saskatchewan is the defending champ, so they still have that chip on their shoulder. And, they do have some guys that return that remember that experience, so I'm sure they definitely want to get back, to that promised land.
Here's Mukama, drives. A little off-balance attempt there. That's no good, but he gets the loose ball on the offensive rebound. Clausen clearing out space there for him to come and scoop that up. Johnson for 3. That's no good. Tapped around, and once again it's Mukama. And we have a foul call. That's going to go against Saskatchewan's Denzel Taylor. And it will stay with Hamilton. You mentioned the offensive glass, Javon.
Offensive rebounds.
Hamilton crashing it right now.
Offensive rebounds. And on a tough shot like that, you force Alex Johnson into a tough shot. That's one of the rebounds you have to get and get out onto the other end. You get McConnell get a rebound, another possession, another opportunity to score a basket, another offensive possession.
So they're saying the basket counts. They're saying the shot was in the air when the foul took place, so a basket counts for Hamilton. It's not yet on the scoreboard. A little unclear as to what's going on there. We'll get that sorted out, of course. Another foul underneath. It's now on the scoreboard for Hamilton, 37-36.
There is a lot going on here. There's a lot going on.
While there is a lot going on, I want to remind you that Bell Lifestyle Products is proud to provide natural health products for the elite athletes of the CEBL. Retired athletes and weekend warriors alike. Never stop doing your thing. Men's health empowered by nature. Bell Lifestyle Products. Clausen at the line.
Chad Johnson, Coach Chad Jacobson, is chewing out the ref.
And Clausen goes 2 of 2. I think there was an unsportsmanlike there. And so it'll be Hamilton ball after the free throws as well. Alex Johnson with it. Finds Khalif Young. Little handoff there to JV Mukama in the lane. Nice soaring floater for JV Mukama. He gets it to fall.
And you know what? He's been aggressive. He's been extremely aggressive for Hamilton. And I think a lot of it has to do with he's a Hamilton kid. He's a Hamilton kid. So he's not only playing for the name on the back of his jersey, but the name on the front, hometown.
Here is Kemiose. That's good for mid-range. First points on the board here in the half for Saskatchewan from the fingers of Osei. 41-38 now. Hamilton in front. Johnson called for a travel. It'll be Hamilton ball.
Coach Jacobson did a good job of working the refs on that call. I heard him make mention to refs aren't calling carrying or traveling. Johnson dragged his foot on that one. I think they would have looked past it if Coach Jacobson didn't put much pressure on them.
Here's Osei. Up to Webster Chan coming off the screen. Can't get that to fall. Pops out. And it will go back in the hands of Hamilton.
You know what? And that's a clean shot. It's a good pin down. He came off that aggressive, got his footing right, and got up into his shot. I'll take that.
Into the lane on the pick and roll. Clausen can't get it to go. Seemed like Khalif Young had the offensive board in his hands, but he loses it, and it's back to Saskatchewan. Chris Joseph with it now on the wing. Back up top to Osei. Webster Chan drives. Little reverse lefty finish. Negus Webster Chan. Silky smooth.
That's a talented player, man. You just want him to be a bit more consistent. And when he shows flashes like that, you have high expectations for him. So if you can get him to play a little more aggressive and just bring all of his tools together and put it together, he could be a really good player.
Jalen Babb Harrison cans a pull-up 3 there. And it's 44-40. Osei up to Joseph. To Joseph for 3. Sorry, that was Bracey Davis getting it over to Joseph for 3.
Chris Joseph does a really good job of getting his feet set extremely quick. It's really hard to time his jump shot to contest it because he gets off the ground so fast. And he's so long, gets up into a shot, it's really hard to contest.
We're going to call an offensive foul there on Clausen. It's going to be Saskatchewan ball here. In the meantime, Kotak Law is the official law firm of the CEBL Summer Series, and they know these times have been hard for many Canadians. That is why they are donating $7,000 to the Canadian Mental Health Association, and they invite CEBL fans to join them as well. Visit cmha.ca today and join Anish Kotak in supporting the mental health of Canadians from coast to coast. Bracey Davis set to inbound here to Rashawn Brown, recently checked in. Rashawn Brown is just taped up to the gills on that right arm.
You know what? This whole Saskatchewan team has been a bit banged up. They've been depleted. We actually haven't seen much of Carl Brown, one of their players. So, you know, it's worked out for Rashawn Brown. He's been able to get some experience in and log a lot of minutes just developing. And you can't ask for a better situation as a rookie just to come out and just have a lot of responsibility, some growing pains. And in a game like this, you know, there's a lot at stake. So he's getting a lot thrown at him in his first go as a pro.
Webster Chan from the corner, that's no good. Long rebound comes right to McComm, and he's off to the races with Bracey Davis on him. Euro step, no good, but it's followed there, and it can't go down there. Derek Cook Jr. was in there trying to get the putback to go. Here's Bracey Davis up top. Williams, little handoff here with Webster Chan. Settling into a really tightly contested game here after a game of runs in the first half. Here's Bracey Davis, turnaround. That is no good. Osiende comes over the back. He's going to be called for the foul. You mentioned Rashawn Brown so far in the summer series. 10.5 points a game, 3 boards, and just under 4 assists as well for the first-year guard out of the University of Manitoba.
Yeah. You know, you couldn't ask for much more from him. The only thing I would want to change or work on over the next season is his ratios, 1-to-1 ratio of assists to turnovers, and that's something as a point guard you can't really have because you have to be somebody that can count on, be responsible with the basketball, and just your teammate wants to count on you to get them the basketball in the right places. So, you know, just some growing pains for a rookie, just something to work on there, or just when he gets back into his off season to look at some film and just see where he can improve.
Speaking of turnovers, that is almost stolen away there by Alex Johnson. It'll be Saskatchewan balls. False alarm there as Briante Weber comes back into the game here for Hamilton.
We haven't seen much of Briante, have we?
We have not. Pretty quiet first half for him. Just 2 points, 6 minutes of action.
But that 2 points counts as 4. That was a pretty big dunk.
I think I've always been of the mind that dunks should count as 3 points. They're cool. They're hard to do. Get defenders in the way.
I would have been a leading scorer everywhere I went.
Here's Rashawn Brown with it. There's Kai Williams. We're going to talk more about Javon's dunks on an episode of the CEBL Show podcast at some point, I'm sure. Rashawn Brown turns it over, and it's turned back over as Brown gets it back. Lead pass here to Webster Chan. He goes up, lays it in. And another lead change here after no lead changes for much of the first half. It's now going back and forth here between these two sides.
You know, Saskatchewan just looks like the aggressor right now. Like, even on defensively, they're applying a little more pressure and just playing passing lanes, getting tips on the ball, getting deflections. It just shows how active they are in the game.
And Bracey Davis, a powerful drive through the lane, finishes with the right hand. Looking like a running back going through that hole. Bab Harrison. He'll drive with the left hand. Tries to put it up. He's fouled going up by Shane Osiende. And Jalen Bab Harrison is going to go to the line to shoot a pair.
And this is a tough point in the game where things aren't really going well, things aren't going smoothly. You have to be careful not to get too much into me basketball and you're trying to go one-on-one to solve the problem yourself. This is a time where you need to settle down, run through to your offenses and move the basketball. Move the basketball around through passes. It's the fastest way to get the ball around, fastest way to get into the basket.
We've reached the media timeout here in the third quarter. More on the other side here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
Follow the Saskatchewan Rattlers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the defending champion Rattlers have to offer. Follow the Hamilton Honey Badgers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Honey Badgers have to offer.
(47-44) right now in favor of the Saskatchewan Rattlers, as Derek Cook Jr., a little turnaround hook, no good, but there's a foul underneath the basket here.
You know what? Saskatchewan has really stepped up their defense. They forced 5 turnovers in the first 6 minutes of this third quarter here. So, you know, there was definitely, I'm sure Coach really got under them at the half and turned them around defensively. And obviously it's done wonders for them here in the first 6 minutes.
Weber is at the line now, as the Rattlers are over the limit. Misses the first. Just a refresher on the situation. If Saskatchewan wins here, they will advance into the knockout stages because they will have the head-to-head tiebreaker against both Niagara and Hamilton. So the lowest they could fall is 6th. And Hamilton, of course, wins. They're in as well. Here is Briante Weber on the run. That is good. Briante Weber laying it in.
The reality is both of these teams are playing to advance right now. What it boils down to.
Delay game warning issued against Briante Weber. Cody John back in the game here, so it'll be the John Weber backcourt for Hamilton. Bracy Davis has it here. We're all tied up at 47s here after that made bucket by Weber. Here's Kai Williams. He'll pull up from 18 feet. That's no good. And here is Weber with it. Over to Mukama. Thinks about it, but drives instead. Dishes it off to Weber. That's stolen. Another turnover there for Hamilton as Bracy Davis with those powerful long strides, this time going lefty through traffic. A couple beautiful fast break buckets here in the quarter for Kevin Bracy Davis.
You know what? The first play he looked like a running back. This one I'll give him, he was a fullback on this play.
Here's Weber to the corner. Jermel Kennedy. He's got Denzel Taylor on him, backing him down. Kennedy, and a push called there on Denzel Taylor. So the reset 14 on the clock here for Hamilton. The 2021 CEBL season tickets drive is well underway and is going to continue only throughout the CEBL Summer Series, which ends on Sunday, so make sure you're getting to your tickets. Visit honeybadgers.ca or therattlers.ca to place your $50 deposit and receive a 12% discount and secure your 2021 CEBL season tickets. Jermel Kennedy hits the first at the line and evens it up now at 49s. A reminder, the Elam ending kicks in at the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter, so just under 10 minutes of game action left to go until a target score is established. Bracy Davis over there to Osei. Here's Bracy Davis once again. Opong for 3 with Mukama jumping out at him. That's no good, and Jermel Kennedy has it. Mukama, Kennedy. Weber now up top. Weber, beautiful little over-the-head pass there to Derek Cook Jr.
And you know what?
Beautiful finish.
Derek Cook bailed him out there because he should have dove a little harder. He kind of held the screen for a bit. Was in no man's land for a second. Luckily, he caught it and made a play out of it.
Osei to Williams. He gets it over there to Davis on the wing, and Bracy Davis is going to go to the line. He's fouled. Nice to see Derek Cook Jr. doing something on the other end there for Hamilton. Of course, he's been slow to get up to game action. He missed the first couple games after quarantining for 3 weeks And his body kind of seized up. A man of 6'9", it's likely to happen. So nice to see him kind of getting into game shape here.
Hey, you know what? Derek Crook is a guy that he really puts a lot of pressure on the rim. Once he dives hard and you can lob it up to him, there's nobody else that can really play at the rim with him. So if he can get Briante Weber in some ball screens and force, Cook to dive hard, get it to the rim, or force the weak side help to come over, then you have a lot more open plays to make.
Bracy Davis headed to the line here. A reminder to stick around following today's CEBL doubleheader for a special edition of CEBL Life presented by Ward 1 Studios, a behind-the-scenes feature on reigning league MVP Xavier Moon of the Edmonton Stingers. Once again, that's after our second broadcast of the day between the Ottawa Blackjacks and Niagara River Lions.
Negus Webster-Chan and Coach Schmidt going back and forth a bit. Two guys that are quite familiar with each other.
They called a flagrant on this one, by the way. So it'll be 2 shots in the ball. As Bracy Davis hits it.
I don't think we touched on both of these coaches are first-time head coaches going head-to-head here.
Absolutely.
With a lot on the line.
Inbound from Kemi Osei on the left hash. He tries to get it into Taylor. He does. Harrowly, but he does. And Osei now has Cook Jr. switched out on him on the perimeter. Thinks about it. Cook's too big. Swung around, 4 on the clock. Opong has that slapped away. Weber with it on the run. Into the corner. Mukama for 3. That is good. JV Mukama knocking in the triple. And we have a timeout called here by Chad Jacobson and the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Hamilton now up 54-51 in this one. 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Javon, Hamilton's been struggling the last couple of quarter years. Lots of turnovers. They obviously lost a big lead. Seems like they're kind of gaining steam once again here, though.
You know what? It goes both ways. Basketball is a game of runs. We've seen Saskatchewan make theirs. We've seen Hamilton make theirs early on. So I guess we're seeing another one by them right now. If they can, if they can really take control of the basketball, they've forced it. They've had a lot of turnovers, and Saskatchewan has benefited on it. They've had 23 points off of Hamilton's turnovers. So if they can adjust that a bit, I mean, things will turn around for them. But yeah, basketball's a game of runs, and we're seeing it tonight.
We've seen Kevin Bracy Davis kind of taking the lion's share of the offense here in the quarter for the Rattlers. Kind of working as that wing initiator. He's going to have to take a break here at some point. He's been in for most of the quarter. If you're Saskatchewan, if you're Chad Jacobson, how do you make up for the inevitable break that Kevin Bracy Davis is going to have to take?
I don't think he can take it right now. I think he averages about 32 minutes per game, the most on the team, one of the highest in the league as well. But, they don't have, right now, as I mentioned, they've been banged up. They don't have the depth that they need to really give guys a breather. So, given the circumstances and given the length of this championship series, this is a guy that's one of your better players. You're going to have to run through him, and he's going to be gassed. Hopefully he can get some break when it's all said and done.
He will take a quick break here as he has taken his seat, and Chris Joseph has checked back into the game here. So it looks like it'll be Negus Webster-Chan, Kemi Osei kind of taking on the lion's share of the creation here for the Rattlers as they inbound here. Bracy Davis, you can't imagine that break is going to be long for the leading scorer of the Rattlers. Here is Kemi Osei. Finds Joseph. Joseph calling for Opong. Opong comes up now, 10 on the clock. Into the corner, Webster-Chan for 3. That is good. Negus Webster-Chan ties it back up at 54s.
Hey, if you have Chris Joseph and Negus Webster-Chan on the perimeter, both on the same side, it's a tough decision for your defense to make because both these guys can really shoot the basketball. So, you're forced to make a decision and just hope that the other misses a shot.
Weber with a beautiful pass to the corner there for Cody John over his head. Can't make anything out of it. 4 on the clock. Mukama with it late clock. Drives. Tries to get in there. Is fouled at the buzzer. Bailed out by the whistle. But a smart move there by Mukama. Yep. Saw that he had the lane. Brought it in and hoped for the best. It worked out. We're going to send things over to Amy Audibert. Amy.
Yeah, you guys were talking about JV a little bit earlier and how he's playing for Hamilton in his hometown. But the other thing that was really, this staff was really impressed with JV when he came back. Keep in mind, he was one of the last cuts for the Raptors 905. And so Ryan Schmidt got to know him really well during training camp. And then he went to Rwanda and he played in the basketball it was a 12-team qualifying team tournament for the Basketball Africa League, okay? His team wasn't supposed to do well. Well, they got to the final, they won the whole thing in front of 15,000 fans, and JV was named the MVP of that. Ryan Schmidt told me earlier that JV came back with a different level of confidence than he had ever seen. In the 905 training camp, he gave up a lot of shots, and he just wasn't the confident player that you're seeing. And I think that has a lot to do with the way he's playing tonight in terms of accountability and attacking the rim. Guys?
Great stuff, Amy. As always, thank you for that. Here is Chris Joseph here trying to find his space through traffic. Somehow hangs onto the ball. It was like a bouncy ball that he somehow kept hold of.
And you know what? Amy is right. He's been extremely aggressive tonight. 22 points on 8 of 14 shooting. So he's really doing his job. He's contributing what he can bring to the table.
Chris Joseph's three is well off. By the way, Kevin Bracey Davis's rest was exactly 45 seconds long. He's now back on the court.
But you know what, Sean? That 45 minutes in game time, I'll be the first to tell you, that 45 seconds actually feels like 45 minutes. So it's enough to get a breather and get back out there.
Foul called there on Bracey Davis. And it'll be Mukama going to the line here, looking to expand upon his game high. It's 23 now for JV Mukama. Only member of the Honey Badgers in double figures so far. He hits the second, and it's back up to a 3-point lead here for Hamilton. .30 seconds, about 10 seconds different. Shot clock and game clock. Boy, I can't talk at all. Good thing we have another game after this. Here is Webster Chan over to Joseph. Osei up top. Webster Chan again. Into the middle for Joseph. Can't get it to go off glass. 12 now on the clock for Briante Weber. Walking it up. The shot clock is off. Weber drives on Bracey Davis. Kicks out Kennedy. And a foul is called here. And that is going to be on Briante Weber, an offensive foul. So 2.3 seconds here to work with for the Saskatchewan Rattlers before we get to the end of the third quarter. Probably nothing more than a heave here. Osei with it, puts it up. And he does not quite get it to go. It's 57-54 Hamilton after three. The fourth quarter in the Elam ending coming up on the other side here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.
Elam ending is upon us, and they take the timeout to set the target score. Gets up into the air, gets it to go! Not there, Boucard in the corner for three. Guillaume Boucard at the buzzer, drains it, and the Niagara River Lions get out of here with a 93-92 victory.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
We've got a 3-point game in favor of the Hamilton Honey Badgers going into the fourth quarter here. Hamilton looking for a win to secure their place in the knockout stage, as is Saskatchewan. Lots to play for here over the final 10 minutes. The Elam ending, of course, kicking in with 4 minutes left on the clock as Bracy Davis drives, hands it off there down low to Osiende. He is fouled going up, and Shane Osiende is going to go to the line to shoot a pair.
And you know what, Sean? We can throw all our notes. We can throw all the numbers. This first 6 minutes is really just going to come down to who wants this more.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of reason for both of these teams to want it, of course. Saskatchewan loses. They will go to tomorrow with a record of 1-4 and play Ottawa. Ottawa may or may not have booked their ticket into championship weekend and the quarterfinals on Thursday, depending on their outcome this afternoon.
You know what?
With Niagara.
What I do like to say is that they are peaking right now. They're peaking at the right time. They're playing well. They've unfortunately, I can't talk either. Unfortunately,
okay.
they've lost Phil Scrub, but at the same time, guys have stepped up in his absence, and they're really peaking right now.
Here is Jamel Kennedy over to Cody John up top. Spins to Briante Weber. That is good. Nice little step back for Briante Weber.
He likes that 1 foot. I've seen it. It's a bit unorthodox, and I'm sure.
It's kind of like a Dirk shot unnecessarily, but hey, I like watching a Dirk-looking shot any day, so I'll take it. Rashawn Brown over to Kai Williams for 3. Quiet third quarter for him. He can't get that to go. And Cody John can't get that to go off the glass. And it goes back the other way. Webster Chan drives. That is tapped away. And we're just trading turnovers now. Here is Cody John. And that's going to be a foul on Rashawn Brown. And Cody John is going to head to the line. He's going to shoot 2. JV Mukama with 25 points through 3 quarters. He's got the CEBL Summer Series high of 30 in his sights. Cameron Forte had that for Fraser Valley in the first week. Cody John.
I think he'll be well on his way. He's been aggressive tonight consistently, so I imagine he'll get there.
John knocks it in. 5-point lead here for Hamilton. And again, much more hairy for Hamilton than it is for Saskatchewan here today. Saskatchewan has a game to play tomorrow that they can win and get in. Hamilton, if they lose here, it's all on Niagara today. Here's Rashawn Brown for 3. That is good. Rashawn Brown knocking it down.
And that's good basketball. Negus Webster Chan came off the pin down, came off the down screen rather. 2 dribbles to his left. Rashawn Brown was open in the corner. Get it to him. Easy basket.
Weber drives left-handed. Pulls up with the right. That is good. Briante Weber getting it done. A reminder, Niagara against Ottawa coming after this. It's a must-win for Niagara. If they lose, all of the machinations for tiebreakers don't matter. They will have the worst record. They will miss out on the knockout stage, so stick around. Here's Webster Chan. Drives. Picked off there by Khalif Young. Up to Cody John on the wing. He finds Weber in the corner. Weber, cross court. Mukama thinks about it, then swung to the corner. Dropped off Kennedy underneath. Young, that is good. Khalif Young. Negus Webster Chan kind of bringing himself out of the play there as he went for a steal and then just kind of ran off the court.
We talk about being unselfish. That was almost one too many passes and almost got himself in trouble. But, that's dangerous.
Race for the ball there. They're going to call a foul on Bracy Davis. Said he knocked the legs out from underneath Khalif Young, so it's going to be Hamilton ball. And looking at Young wincing, I kind of believe him, honestly.
Bracy Davis has to be careful not to pick up a technical right here.
That's the 3rd personal foul on Bracy Davis. Of course, in FIBA rules, only 5 fouls allowed.
5 fouls.
Cody John will walk it up. Takes a little screen there from Breonte Weber and goes all the way to the cup underneath, laying it in.
You know what? This guy likes to score. There's been a couple times where you can just see his eyes are set on the basket. Not really concerned with what else is going on. Fortunately for him, on this play, worked out.
Osei with it. Osiande. Osei drives, kicks. Bracy Davis for three. That's long. Osiande on the offensive glass, pulls it in. Finds Williams, back to Webster Chan. Bracy Davis, and he'll jam it down. Kevin Bracy Davis says, I'm not going to try a three again. I'm just going to make it the easy way.
You know what? Negus Webster Chan has done a lot tonight, whether he's scoring or whether he's getting guys involved. And, you know, speaking with Coach Chad Jacobson in the preseason, he said this was one of the guys that they're looking to for leadership. He's one of the returning guys, as well as, you know, when they came in, when they got the group together, he was one of the guys that was most vocal with the group. So it's good to see him tonight really active on both ends of the court and getting guys involved as well as scoring himself.
Gorgeous drive and a drop-off pass there from Mukama, and Khalif Young puts it in underneath. Khalif Young and Cody John, two guys making their pro debuts with the Honey Badgers in crunch time of a borderline must-win. And that is tossed away there by Kennedy, right to the hands of Bracy Davis, who's downhill. He'll drive, kicks to the corner. Webster Chan for three, and that is cash money. Negus Webster Chan from the corner, bringing it in a little bit closer. They've fallen down by 8, now just a 5-point game. Hamilton up 69-64. A minute 20 till the Elam ending.
Webster Chan is making me look like a prophet right now.
Weber directing traffic to Mukama in the middle. Another little dump-off pass to Young, and a foul is called. Khalif Young is going to go to the line. The Hamilton Honey Badgers conclude their round-robin play tonight, and we'll watch the games on CBC Gem to determine when or if they play next. If they drop this one again, this could be it for them. The next Rattlers game is tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., where they conclude their round-robin play with a date against the expansion Ottawa Blackjacks, who you'll see a little bit later on today against the River Lions. Young gets the first to go. Of course, quarterfinals will be on Thursday, semi-Saturday, final on Sunday. Young with his second. That is good. Minute 5 here now for the Rattlers to draw a little closer before the Elam ending, and that target score is established. Bracy Davis, Osiande tries to find some space against Khalif Young, but cannot. Up top, Webster Chan calling for a screen. Gets it, drives around. He's fouled going up by Khalif Young. And Webster Chan is going to go to the line. We'll stop the clock, and he'll shoot two.
He's aggressive. He's doing it all, inside and outside. Penetrating, threes, assists.
And we have a timeout called. Javon, Saskatchewan here, 7 points down. They don't want to be leaving it to tomorrow, having to pick up a win. If that does come to pass, where it becomes a must-win tomorrow for them. What do they have to do here in this final 43 seconds before Elam time to draw a little closer here? Just, every point really, really matters when it comes to the Elam ending.
You know what? Stay aggressive on both ends of the floor. That's what's really worked for them. They forced Hamilton into some turnovers in the first and second half, and they got out and run. A guy like Negus Webster Chan, a guy that's one of the returners, he's been extremely aggressive on the offensive end, not only for himself, but creating for guys on his team. And I think they need to continue doing that. And a guy like Bracy Davis, a guy that's experienced, you understand crunch time. You have a guy like Chris Joseph as well. So they have guys that have played in situations like this and understand it. So I think, keep the aggression as well as getting your veterans, getting the ball in your veterans' hand to make some decisions for you going down the stretch.
Bracy Davis and Webster Chan both tied for the team lead with 13 points so far here in the game. The leading scorer on the side of the Honey Badgers is JV Mukama with 25 points so far, leading the way by a mile for Ryan Schmidt and the Honey Badgers. As they come back out, Webster Chan is going to shoot. Sorry, he's not going to shoot. It's going to be an foul on the floor, as it turns out. So they will inbound it. Here's Joseph to Osiendi on the run. Can't get it to go. It's stolen there by Briante Weber. Mukama for 3. That is good. JV Mukama up to 28 in the game.
JV Mukama.
He is feeling himself today. Hasn't felt forced at all, though. It's been a pretty easy 28 for JV Mukama. That's thrown away. And now a chance to really pack it on here. Briante Weber for 3. That's short. Webster Chan picks it up. 4:07 left. Bracy Davis catches the pass underneath. Back up top to Webster Chan for 3. That's no good. Rebounded by John. It's a 10-point lead. We are now under 4 minutes. The next stoppage will bring in the Elam ending and create the target score. Here's Weber. Mukama thinks about it.
Good ball
Swung
movement.
back around. Here's Weber driving in. Tries to lob it up for Young. Young still ensnares it and gets it to go after coming back down with it. Now a 12-point lead for Hamilton. I should note Dwayne Notice went down last week for Hamilton. He's still sitting here right next to us, cheering on the team, calling out the shot clock. Being an excellent teammate, Dwayne Notice. We have now reached Elam ending time. A reminder of how this works. If you're tuning in for the first time here in the CEBL Summer Series, the Elam ending is awesome. We add 9 points to the leading score, which right now is 76 for the Hamilton Honey Badgers. So 85 is going to be the target score for both of these teams to play to. Let's send things down actually to Amy Audibert for a little more detail ahead of the Elam ending here.
Well, Sean, as we've seen the entire series, anything can happen in this final frame, but Hamilton has got to be a little bit confident. They come into this game, they've played 5 games, they've won 3 of their Elam frames, and they've tied 1. So they've only actually been outscored once in their entire Elam Summer Series experience. Now on the other end, Saskatchewan, hey, they have yet to win an Elam frame. Now they've also played 1 less game, but the pressure is certainly on for them. They've got to find a way to come away with this W, guys.
Thanks so much, Amy. Yeah, absolutely. The teams that are down tend to kind of have a little extra juice in this, and we've seen a couple teams kind of get panicky that are in the lead trying to just get those buckets on the board, you know, maybe forcing shots that are unnecessary, trying to jack up threes just to get those done, those 3 buckets to get that 9 points right away. You see here the sort of numbers so far for the Elam ending, 89.1 the average target score. We've had 6 threes end things off, 8 twos, 3 free throws, and also a goaltending over the weekend during the Ottawa game, which was fun and interesting and new. We'll have to ask Dr. Nick Elam if that has ever happened before, if a goaltending call has ever decided an Elam game. But here we go. Elam ending. The shot clock is off. Here as the Rattlers have 19 on their shot clock following the foul administered by Hamilton before the stoppage. 85 the target score. Here is Osei. Gets it over to Webster Chan. He's got John on him, pulls up from mid-range. That is silky from Negus Webster Chan.
That's a tough shot. 2 dribbles to a spot, rose up. Extremely tough. You get the defender pedaling backwards. It's hard to really catch up and defend to contest that.
Mukama with it. Looking for the outlet. He finds Young on the roll. Young off glass. That connection between Mukama and Young is working well right now.
Mukama's playing like a veteran. He knows that the attention is on him right now. Coming off ball screens, drew some attention, got Young the basket on his roll. Easy play for him.
Bracy Davis thought he had Osei in the corner, but Osei was a little bit up the wing, so it goes out of bounds here. 7 points away from the target are the Honey Badgers. Here's Briante Weber with it. It's Weber, Mukama, Kennedy, Young, and John on the floor here for Hamilton to close. Weber, mid-range pull-up. That is cash for Briante Weber. It's Osei, Bracy Davis, Taylor, Joseph, and Webster Chan out there for the Rattlers. Saskatchewan needs a bucket, and then it needs some stops. Joseph underneath, Taylor. That's beautiful ball movement there inside to Denzel Taylor. 80-68 is the score now. 5 away from the target. Here are the Honey Badgers. Cody John, Mukama for 3. That's short, grabbed by Khalif Young underneath. Kennedy puts it up. That falls in, and this could be a pretty quick finish here. It'll be stalled at least by a timeout called here by the Saskatchewan Rattlers, but we're not seeing Javon much defensive intensity here from the Rattlers, who absolutely should be employing it, as it's only 9 points they're allowed to give up now, just 3 points away.
Yeah, you know what? I sense a little quit, but Hamilton does a really good job of doing what's worked for them. They've gone to their ball screen, got guys diving to the basket really hard, which has created some opportunities, for drop-offs as well as for weak side kickouts. So they've done what worked for them, and you have to commend them for that.
You can definitely sense that Hamilton knows that this game is not one they want to mess around with. Once again, Niagara plays in about half hour's time here on this same floor, and a loss for Hamilton means Niagara can put them out of this tournament if Niagara wins. Hamilton's saying, no. We're just going to get this done. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to go to bed, rest easy with a 3-3 record, and come back and play on Thursday. Saskatchewan, there might not be enough time here for them to make this up. They're going to have to get 1 million stops in a row. We've seen weirder things. The Elam ending causes all sorts of strange, different dynamics within the game, but it's going to be on the Saskatchewan Rattlers here to string together a bunch of stops and probably jack up a bunch of threes. If they can get it done, it will be tremendous. I don't know if we'll see it, but here's hoping we get something miraculous at least to finish this game. Otherwise, it's going to be Hamilton going home with a pretty comfortable win after what was a very close game all night long.
Well, you know what? Saskatchewan has shooters out there, so I guess you can depend on that or lay down. So they have two choices at this point.
Here is Taylor, Rashawn Brown. Over to Webster Chan. Webster Chan pulls up for three. That's no good. It's tapped around, and it comes to Jermel Kennedy. Kennedy to John on the run. They're now just 1 point away from the target score. That transition defense is not going to get it done if you are the Rattlers.
And this is not going to show up in the stat sheet, but Briante Weber really created that basket. He sprinted the lane, took the attention, and Cody John had an easy pass to, I believe it was Makama for the finish, or Jermel Kennedy, sorry.
Gracie Davis with the up and under finish there. 1 point away for the Hamilton Honey Badgers. Khalif Young with it. They're looking for the win on this possession. Cody John. Kennedy. Inside to Makama. John. 7 on the clock. He drives, turns it over. Rashawn Brown with it. 2-on-2 with Bracy Davis. Davis with it. Tries to post up Kennedy. He loses it. It's going to go back into the hands of Hamilton with another chance to finish this thing off. If they can score here, this might go down as the quickest Elam ending we have seen so far in the summer series. Big if. I don't want to jinx it or anything. Hamilton fans, don't get mad at me if they miss here. It's not my fault. Here's Kennedy. Finds Weber in the paint. Tries to lob it up there to Young in the corner. John for three in the win. Pops out. The buzzer went because it looked like it was going to go, but it does not, and it's going to be Rattlers ball. The buzzer operator getting pretty excited there at the possibility of this one ending on a corner three from Cody John. And we have a timeout called here by the Hamilton Honey Badgers. Some confusion.
I think the refs might have thought somebody interfered with the basket from under.
So they'll try to sort this out. Timeout is called here by the Honey Badgers. When you're 1 point away here, Javon, this is so new for all of these guys. This is the first time a lot of them have played an Elam ending style basketball game before. How, if you're only 1 point away, it feels like it's all right, we're just there. We just got to get one more bucket. We're not too worried about it. How do you avoid, adopting some bad habits in this final stretch here and just sort of get back and sort of play in your own game plan?
And you know what? You've sort of seen it with a couple of loose passes and guys were, just throwing it around. Fortunately, they didn't turn it over, but it's just a shift in mentality. I think you're 1 point away, we're going to get the point, as opposed to, you know what? Killers kill. So you need somebody to really shift that mentality and say, no, let's get it done right now. So I look for somebody to step up, one of the veteran guys to really just set that tone, and you're going to need that going forward as well. There's no time. Again, we're not playing with any clock, so you really don't have the time per se to really play around with the basketball. Get the job done, get in, get out, get a win, and get in the locker room.
Absolutely. The Honey Badgers just 1 point away from the target score of 85. They will inbound from the baseline. Weber out there again with John, Young, Mukama, and Kennedy. Up to Mukama, who's 3 points away from setting the CEBL Summer Series high. He sees a couple bodies.
I
He
would
thinks
like to
about
see
it.
him
He
get
pulls
it.
up for 3 for the win. That's no good. Here is Webster Chan driving.
Oh, my.
He's fouled going up. They're going to count the basket. They're going to say a goaltend there. So it's
Yeah.
a basket and 1 for Negus Webster Chan.
You know, that's just a bad play by Jamel. The basketball was already on the backboard. Everybody in the gym could have seen that. So you have to be smart in situations like this. Let that one go. Foul, he goes to the line, as opposed to now going for and 1.
And you wonder at what point here resignation becomes belief again if you're Saskatchewan. They're still down 11 here, but a couple more stops and buckets, and then I can imagine the energy is going to really pick up.
For sure.
Here's Weber. He's got it. He drives, pulls up. Briante Weber cashes it, and that is game. The Hamilton Honey Badgers advance to the knockout round of the CEBL Summer Series. They will play in the quarterfinals on Thursday with an 86-73 win over the Saskatchewan Rattlers. The Rattlers will now have to take a look at tonight's game, see what happens. If Niagara loses, the Rattlers will be in because they have the tiebreaker head-to-head over Niagara. If Niagara wins, tomorrow becomes a big game for Saskatchewan as they take on Ottawa in a game that could be or will be for a spot in the knockout rounds. As we see there, Briante Weber knocking it down to win the game. Whew. So, fun finish there for Hamilton. We're going to send things baseline with the man of the hour, JV Mukama, and Amy Audibert. Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. JV, championships are in Rwanda or do or dies in CEBL. You show up in these big games. Thoughts on your performance tonight?
I mean, they switched it up a little bit today just because I've been playing the 4 pretty much all tournament. The coach trusted me at the 3 because training camp I was playing more of the 3. It's just do or die right now, so he knew I had to play to my strengths, so I'm just glad I showed up and my team was there for me.
Hamilton has won or tied 5 of your 6
Yeah.
endings. And
Yeah.
so you guys, you are probably the best in the summer series.
Yeah.
How are you finishing these games off?
I mean, I think we're trusting our veterans. I mean, we know we're talented. It's just about being poised at the end. I mean, we seen Fraser Valley almost like coming back. So we knew we had to end this. It was, like I said, it was do or die, so we were all focused from the beginning.
Congratulations, great game.
Thank you.
We'll go back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Amy, and thanks to JV Mukama with a big game. 28 points to lead the way here for Hamilton. By the way, next broadcast, of course, tune in at 7:30, coming up very soon here as Niagara is going to take on Ottawa in a massive game with plenty of playoff implications right here on CBC Gem. Javon, Amy, and I will be on the call for you. Javon, final thoughts on this one as Hamilton books their ticket to the knockout rounds.
You know what? It just boiled down to, like we said earlier, who wanted it more. And Hamilton understood what was at stake. And you could see they got a little sloppy at the end, but who took over? The veteran stepped up. Last second shot, or should we say Elam shot. Elam shot, and, close it out for them. So you have to commend them, and they've punched their ticket.
Absolutely they have. And again, we're going to have another game for you coming up very shortly here on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. Niagara and Ottawa, you can see the hats right here already laid out. The people here are very quick at turning things over. The production team is fantastic that we're working with here. And so, yeah, stick around. We're going to come back. Niagara, Ottawa, in about half hour's time here on the CEBL on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca.